Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. We're up to day 8 of Hidden Figures. We're doing so good. You guys, it's like really hard work doing daily videos. And I know I said this exact same thing last year. Like, for people that like do daily videos, like the Daily Davidsons, and especially people that do like daily family vlogs and just like daily vlogging and like daily content, like kudos to you, because daily videos are so much work, and I'm like so proud of the fact that we have made it to like day 8. Like, yes, let's go. Like, we're powering through this month. I'm super excited. I always say this, but I'm always super excited about today's hidden figure, Carrie Mae Weems, who I actually saw on Instagram stories. So somebody that I follow on Instagram was like at a museum, and they had like taken a picture of like the work of Carrie Mae Weems, and I really liked the piece, so I went and I looked her up, and I was like, oh, she would be great for Hidden Figures. So Carrie Mae Weems was born April 20th, 1953, and she's an American artist, obviously a Black American artist, who works with text, fabric, audio, digital images, and installation, like video installations, but she's best known for her work, in the field of photography. Her award-winning photographs, films, and videos have been displayed in over 50 exhibitions in the United States and abroad, and focus on serious issues that face African Americans today, such as racism, sexism, politics, and personal identity. Weems was born in Portland, Oregon in 1953, the second of 7 children to Carrie Polk and Merle Weems. At the age of 16, she gave birth to her first and only child, a daughter named Faith C. Weems, and later that year she moved out of her parents' home and soon relocated to San Francisco to study modern dance. She decided to continue her art schooling and attended the California Institute of the Arts, Valencia, graduating at the age of 28 with her BA. She received her MFA from the University of California, San Diego, and Weems also participated in the folklore graduate program at the University of California, Berkeley. While in her early 20s, Carrie Mae Weems was politically active in the labor movement as a union organizer. Her first camera, which she received as a birthday gift, was used for this work before being used for artistic purposes. She was inspired to pursue photography after she came across the Black Photography Annual, a book of images by African American photographers including Sean Walker, Buford Smith, Anthony Barboza, Ming Smith, Edgar Cowens, and Roy DeCarava, who I hope I said that right, who Weems found inspiring. This led her to New York City and the Studio Museum in Harlem, where she began to meet other artists and photographers such as Corinne Simpson and Frank Stewart, and they began to form a community. She returned to San Francisco but lived bi-coastally and was involved with the Studio Museum and a community of photographers in New York. In 1983, Carrie Mae Weems completed her first collection of photographs, text, and spoken word called Family Pictures and Stories. The images told the story of her family, and she has said that in this project, she was trying to explore the movement of Black families out of the South and into the North, using her family as a model for the larger theme. This is also called, for anyone that doesn't know, the Great Migration. Please feel free to Google the Great Migration and look it up, because it's really a fascinating subject about how so many Black families moved from the South to the North, and kind of just what that meant here in the United States. Another series called American Icons, completed in 1989, also focused on racism. Weems has said that throughout the 1980s, she was turning away from the documentary photography genre, instead creating representations that appeared to be documents, but were in fact staged. And I really love that idea of playing around with format and kind of creating things. I play around with this type of thing a lot in a lot of my like fiction work. You write something that feels like an essay. It feels like some type of documentation, like that found footage film genre, this idea that it's something quote unquote real, but really it's something that has been staged. Sexism was the next focal point for her. It was the topic of one of her most well-known collections called the Kitchen Table series, which was completed in 1990. And you've probably seen images from her Kitchen Table series floating around on Twitter, on Tumblr. If you're on any type of social media, you've probably seen one of these images. They're black and white photographs of Black people sitting at a kitchen table, men, women, children. And again, these are staged images that are meant to look like, snapshots from a kitchen table, doing homework, doing hair, arguing, crying, laughing, cracking jokes, having sex, all these things. That's meant to be her depiction of, what happens around a kitchen table in a Black American household. About kitchen table and family pictures and stories, Weems has said, "I use my own constructed image as a vehicle for questioning ideas about the role of tradition, the nature of family, monogamy, polygamy, relationships between men and women, between women and their children, and between women and other women, underscoring the critical problems and the possible resolves." She has expressed disbelief and concern about the exclusion of images of the Black community, particularly Black women, from the popular media, and aims to represent these excluded subjects and speak to their experience through her work. Other series created by Weems include the Sea Island series, the Africa series, From Here I Saw What Happened and I Cried, Who, What, When, Where, Ritual and Revolution. Isn't that a great title? Ritual and Revolution. The Louisiana Project, Roaming, and the Museum series, which she began in 2007. Her most recent project, Grace Notes, Reflections for Now, is a multimedia performance that explores the role of grace in the pursuit of democracy. In her almost 30-year career, Carrie Mae Weems has won numerous awards. She was named Photographer of the Year by the Friends of Photography, and in 2005, she was awarded the Distinguished Photographer's Award in recognition of her significant contributions to the world of photography. Her talents have also been recognized by numerous colleges, including Harvard University and Wellesley College, with fellowships, artist-in-residence, and visiting professor positions. She taught photography at Hampshire College in the late 1980s, and she was awarded a MacArthur Foundation Fellowship in 2013. The MacArthur Foundation Fellowship, for anyone that doesn't know, is also called the Genius Grant. It's basically like where they give money to like genius achievers in the arts. It is a dream to get that. In 2015, Weems was named a Ford Foundation Art of Change Fellow, and in September 2015, the Hutchins Center for African and African American Research presented her with the W.E.B. Du Bois Medal. The first comprehensive retrospective of her work opened in September 2012 at the First Center for the Visual Arts in Nashville, Tennessee, as a part of the center's exhibition Carrie Mae Weems, 3 Decades of Photography and Video. The exhibition ran until January 13, 2013, and later traveled to the Portland Art Museum, the Cleveland Museum of Art, and the Cantor Center for Visual Arts. The 30-year retrospective exhibition opened in January 2014 at the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum in New York City, marking the first time an African-American woman was ever given a solo exhibition at the Guggenheim in 2014. So only 4 years ago, she was the first time an African-American woman was ever given a solo exhibition at the Guggenheim. Weems lives in Brooklyn and Syracuse, New York, with her husband, Jeffrey Hoon. She continues to produce art that provides social commentary on the experiences of people of color, especially Black women in America. And I have 2 quotes. Obviously, there were quite a few quotes kind of sprinkled throughout, but I have 2 more quotes that I want to read you guys that I find to be really, really interesting and powerful. And the first one is, "From the very beginning, I've been interested in the idea of power and the consequences of power. Relationships are made and articulated through power." I love that quote because it's really true, and it's something that we never really think about, but all of our relationships and our relationship dynamics are in one way or another forged through power. So you have, parent-child relationships where generally one person, obviously the parent most of the time, but occasionally the child, with some of these parents out here, wields the power. You have romantic relationships where, generally speaking, one person most likely has a little bit more power than the other one. You have, your work relationships where, most of our work structures are set up in these hierarchies where you have, a boss and a manager and a low-level manager and a worker. Our interpersonal relationships really do kind of revolve around these power dynamics. So I love that, part of, you know, her philosophy and her work is examining power structures within our relationships. I think that's really, really important. And the second quote that I wanted to read, because I just love it to death, is, "Let me say that my primary concern in art, as in politics, is with the status and place of Afro-Americans in our country." Carrie Mae Weems, Hidden Figure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.